Hello guys, and welcome back to some more random games. In this episode I will take a look at Kingdom Rush. So we start off with a new game. I'm not actually playing right now, but yes, you can just watch it out and listen to me just talking some crap. I chose to skip the introduction to the game, and I chose a mage on the start because I tried this game a little bit before and I found that the mage was pretty powerful, if you know what I mean. Yes. So yes, I am kind of ill right now, but I will sort things out and I will still make videos even though no one cares, I think. You see me here going wild. I want everything. Yes. I don't want barracks. Barracks is not the best thing in the world. So here the next wave comes, and yes, you can watch it. If you don't want to watch it, you can listen to me talking. And this I can actually take my time now and explain what is in a computer. So you got, of course, you got the processor, or better called, it's named the CPU. And what that does is doing math. It's doing extremely much math. You can't beat a processor in math. But what you need a CPU for is rendering, and you need it for opening files and programs and such stuff. You can use a SSD too, that can open things very fast. But yes, the CPU is the professor, you can call it, the man that just does everything in the computer. You don't have a CPU, your computer will not work. And the motherboard, or better called MOBO, is it's the main card in the machine, and what that does, it's linking everything together, and that's why it's called a motherboard. And on the motherboard you will find some random access memory that is loading in every if you are, gaming. You have to take the pictures somewhere and store it for a short while, and that's where the RAM comes in. It's extremely fast memory. It's just like the SSD but faster than SSD. And if you're playing games like me, you need a graphics card, even though there are some CPUs with integrated graphics and some motherboards with on-board graphics, but you can't mix those two. But you can have something called dual channel, which is a graphics card and integrated in the CPU. You can have that. I don't know if it's mostly on laptops. You don't use it that much on desktop PCs. And then you are over to the graphics card, and the graphics card is the most important if you are gaming. And what you will be looking for in a graphics card is, of course, you don't want to take my word on that, you want a fast clock, and you want, yes, you want some RAM on the graphics card. So but 2 GB, that's more than enough. The only game I think that uses 2 GB is Battlefield 3, and that's a very big game. So you will need about 2 GB if you are playing on ultra high or max settings. And yes, you have something called Crossfire, and when you are talking about Radeon, that's 2 cards. And when you are talking about GeForce, you know, Nvidia and all that stuff, 680s, 630M and stuff like that. It is SLI. You can't mix a GeForce card with a Radeon card, but you can mix some Radeon cards, but it has to be from the same series of cards. And you need power, so you need a power supply, better known as CPU, no, PSU, and what that does is just providing more energy to our electrically circuits thingy stuff to your computer. Without that power you can't do anything. You will just screw over your computer. And yes, you have some PSUs that have 80 plus. That's I think it's bronze in the computer. That makes it harder to destroy it or something. I don't know. I'm not very into power supplies. And then you have the hard drives. Yes, you have the hard drives, and that's for storage. You have flash memory on your motherboard, I think it is. Yes, I think it is the motherboard. You have flash memory, and that's only on when you have the PC on. But when you have a internal HD or hard disk drive, I think it's named, it is permanent. If you don't, you know, delete it, it will stay there. And mechanical hard drive, that's you have a disk and you have an arm, like on the old LP players, you know, that's spinning, and you have that arm. That's the mechanical, and that's not very fast at all. It's actually very slow. But SSD, they are just electronics. They are no moving parts, and that's much quicker. And I know that they are working on something with lights to do. That is impressive. But because lights is even faster than just some normal energy, you know. It's very fast. But it's very expensive to get started with SSD, because they don't have that much storage as a mechanical hard drive. And then you're all over to the optical drive, or DVD or Blu-ray. Not that important these days, because you have Steam you can you know, download from. And yes, and you have those fans, you know. The fans is the most important thing in a computer. The enemy of a computer is heat. You don't want a warm computer. That's the worst thing you can ever have. So, and there you come to overclocking the CPU, so you can get much more out of the CPU, but that can be very dangerous and very expensive. And what to do when you are overclocking? You are giving it more, you know, wattage or electronic stuff. And you have, but then you have to have it cooler, because it's getting warmer than normal. And what you do then is normally you will use liquid cooling, and with liquid cooling you just have that radiator, and you have some water flowing in a circle, cooling down the CPU. And what people tend to do with a liquid cooler is having something called a push-pull, where you have two fans on either side of the radiator that is cooling the water, so you got extremely cool water. And that's very good way to overclock, but I will never start doing overclocking. As I said, it's very expensive. and you have audio card. It's yeah, it will be what you think it is. It's audio. Yes. On this PC I have Beats by the Ray, or Beats Audio, that is called on the PCs, and it's very good, I think. But you can get in, but most motherboards have onboard audio, so you don't need to buy that, because it's fine. You don't need something incredible on your computer if you're not gaming. You know, Modern Warfare 3, where you are listening and trying to be a sound whore, as you may say. And yes, with every CPU you buy, you will have a stock fan, and the stock fan is just a nice fan. You can get liquid cooling, but a few CPUs that come with liquid cooling, but I have heard of it. I have. And yes, the case to store everything in. You can get some nice cases with, you know, more opportunities to, you know, cable routing and stuff like that. Yeah, just hold on. Yes, sorry guys. I got a phone call from one of my friends. Nothing special. Yes. So what was I talking about? Yes, cases. Cable management, very important. Very important. If you don't have good managed cables, you will stop the airflow in your computer and it will die. Not fun. Not fun at all. And you get some cases with, you know, a side window. Very good. Very good. It looks nice if you have some LED lights in there. Very good. Very good. Very good. Yes. What else can I talk about PCs that I know? Yes. Wi-Fi cards. Wi-Fi cards. Very good to have. Just to have, you know. They aren't that great. Cables are 3 times faster than most Wi-Fi cards, but you can get some really good cards, I have heard. But you don't need it. You don't need all that power if you don't upload videos and don't want to use your whole day just uploading videos. I have never experienced that, except for one day when I uploaded a 40 minutes long video, and that was a nightmare. It took about 40 minutes, 4 hours just to upload one video, and that's so insane long. And yes, but next year I will buy or build a computer, or maybe now after Christmas. So you will be seeing some better games than just those free games like Minecraft and Tekkit. Or they aren't free, but they aren't that good, you know. The graphics are rubbish. Yes, rubbish. And yes, one of my friends, he's been requesting one video a lot, and that's the Back to Vanilla. Part 4 and 5, or 3 and 4, I don't remember, but that will never come out. It's 40 minutes about me just reviewing pieces, and you don't even you can't even see the pieces. So I will make a review on a PC. You leave in the comments, and I will see what it can do. I will see it. I will look it up. So don't worry, you can take your own PC and I can see it. And if you have, you know, a custom built PC, you just send me a list of the parts and I will review what I think that PC will be able to do. We can check that. So yes, we need and we are three-fourths on the way of this video, and I'm getting tired because I'm sick. Yes. So I don't actually have much to say now. So what can we talk about that, you know, is very fun to watch and very fun to know? I can talk about, yes, I can talk about my PC. My PC, it's a Hewlett Packard Pavilion DV6. It's the silver edition. Looks very nice, except from something that happened to the top of my screen, where I have these lamps over my PC, and I forgot to turn those lights off, and it started melting on the top here, and you can see that it has happened. Yes, that was the look of my PC. So let's get into the specs. I have 8GB RAM. I got a Intel Inside Core i5, and I got the Radeon graphics. Yes, I got the Radeon, but it doesn't work. No, it's going on the CPU. I have integrated graphics on my CPU. I think I have Intel Graphics HD 3000, I think it is. Yes, I think it's 3000. And you know, for those big games, my PC will burn up. Yes, it will actually burn. It will actually burn. Yes, it will burn. So yes, when a PC burns, it smells horrible. I can say that I have smelled it. My sister, I think it was, she burned her PC. That wasn't good at all. It was horrible. And she had actually just gotten her new PC, and just looking at her face was actually very irritating, because she was crying. She was crying here. She had spent all her money on it, and it just... we don't know what happened to it. We can see that it burned, but I think that's what happened. It happens during, I don't know, it happened during something, and it was said that the battery was going to have 13 hours of living time, but it never had that many hours. 13 is just insane. Okay, back to my PC. Yes, I have Windows 7 Home Premium. You don't need anything better, and Vista is not good at all. It's just a bad OS. And everything else over the Windows 7 is just a waste of money, because that's for servers, and yes, those big programs you don't need. It's very... you never run into a game that need a very good operation system. But I heard that Linux is getting up there now, that Steam is available in Linux. So maybe next year or after Christmas, if the Linux is compatible with everything of games, maybe I will get it. Maybe actually I want to try it out, just to have tried it, so you never have virus or anything like that. And I want to talk about the Apple operating system. It's very complicated the way it's made. I don't know how it's made, but I know something about it. That's it. just applications. You just open Windows. Not the operating system Windows, but you open Windows like in Google Chrome. That's the only thing you do. So yes, I think this video is near its end. Yes, and yes guys, if you have enjoyed me just talking about PCs and operating systems, you should subscribe. And if you want a full tutorial on how to build a PC, I will maybe make that for you, because you know I love you so much.